You are traveling down a long road filled with hope and dreams. Suddenly, everything turns into a nightmare. This is the story of the Boyd Massacre. In the spring of 1838, a group of 65 pioneers faced not just the dangers of nature, but also violence from a group of Native Americans. This meeting changed lives and left a dark mark on American history. The Boyd Massacre happened in what we now call Idaho. It shows the violent interactions between American settlers and Native American tribes. At this time, many settlers were moving west, looking for land and a better life. But as they traveled, they didn't realize the effects their journey had on the Native Americans who lived there. In May 1838, a group called the Boyd Party, consisting of 65 people, set out along the Oregon Trail. They were excited about their future in Oregon, but they didn't know their journey would take a terrible turn. The Boyd Party was led by a man named William Boyd. This group included families, with men, women, and children all hoping to find new land. However, the road ahead was not easy, and they faced many challenges. At that time, the Shoshone tribe was trying to protect their lands from settlers. There was a lot of misunderstanding and conflict. Settlers often saw Native Americans as problems instead of people with their own rich cultures. These misunderstandings led to fights between both sides. As the Boyd Party journeyed toward the Bear River, they were deep in Shoshone territory. Tension was high, and there had already been small fights between settlers and Native Americans in nearby areas. On May 29, 1838, things got worse when a group of Shoshone warriors confronted the Boyd Party. Historians debate what caused this confrontation. Some say it was a misunderstanding over hunting rights, while others argue past conflicts created tension. What started as a simple argument quickly became violent, and a tragic fight began. Reports from the time tell us that the Boyd Party faced chaos and confusion. The Shoshone warriors took aggressive action against the settlers to protect their land. Armed with their traditional weapons, the Shoshone quickly overwhelmed the Boyd Party. The fighting was fierce and tragic. The cries of men, women, and children filled the air as they clashed. The Boyd Party fought bravely but was outmatched by the warriors. Many lives were lost that day. After the fighting, the few survivors were filled with fear and sadness. Some managed to escape, but many were injured or killed. As the sun set, the hope for a new life in Oregon faded for the Boyd Party. They had dreamt of a better future but instead found horror. The survivors began to share their stories. Those who reached nearby settlements warned others about the tragedy they had just witnessed. They spoke of bravery and horror, remembering the last moments with their loved ones before the violence. Survivors were traumatized, carrying the weight of what they had lost. Families had been torn apart in an instant, and the memories of that day haunted them forever. The stories of the massacre spread, becoming cautionary tales for those who followed the same paths. When we think about the Boyd Massacre, we must understand the roots of the violence. The settlers, including the Boyd Party, were looking for land and prosperity. However, they often disregarded the cultures of Native Americans. The Shoshone tribe was trying to protect their homes. They felt threatened as settlers took over land they had lived on for generations. Each conflict only made things worse, with communication failing and cultural exchanges turning into fights. The Boyd Massacre is not an isolated event. It's part of a larger pattern of violence during the expansion of the United States. The idea of manifest destiny, the belief that Americans had the right to expand across the continent, made many believe they were justified in their actions. This belief came at a great cost to Native American populations. As settlers claimed land, they ignored the rights of the people who lived there. The violence from these encounters shows us the price of progress and the human lives affected by it. The Boyd Massacre is remembered today as an example of conflict between settlers and Native Americans. It teaches us the importance of communication and respect for different cultures in order to prevent violence. The deaths of the Boyd family and their companions serve as a warning. Soon after, more conflicts arose as settlers pushed further into Native American territory without considering the people who lived there. Among those who died in the massacre were not just names, but real individuals with dreams and families. Each life lost represents a story cut short, a family torn apart. It is crucial to acknowledge them as part of the narrative of American history. The survivors faced a hard road ahead. They had witnessed horrors that stayed with them forever, and the impact of their experiences influenced their interactions with others. Today, the Boyd Massacre is not just a story from the past. It is connected to ongoing efforts for recognition and rights for Native American tribes. Many tribes continue to fight for their land and heritage, and the legacy of these conflicts remains relevant. When we remember events like the Boyd Massacre, we honor those who lost their lives. Their stories help us understand the struggles faced by both settlers and Native Americans during that time. Reflecting on the Boyd Massacre teaches us important lessons. It reminds us to acknowledge both the pain of the past and the dreams of those who sought new lives. We must embrace this duality to move forward and heal. It is essential to continue conversations about the past, ensuring that we learn from it. By recognizing our history, we can create a future that values the dignity of all individuals. The Boyd Massacre remains a reminder of the consequences of conflict and the failures of understanding between cultures. Though it happened many years ago, the echoes of that violence still affect us today. In remembering this event, we honor those who lost their lives and recognize the suffering of both settlers and Native Americans. It is our responsibility to learn from history and strive for a more compassionate world. Thank you for exploring the story of the Boyd Massacre with us. May we continue to seek knowledge from our shared past, guiding us toward a future marked by empathy and understanding.